we've got a very special guest, two-time Premier League winner, 4 FA Cup wins, final wins that is, 2 League Cups, 1 Community Shield, 1 Champions League, 1 Europa League, 1 African Nations. Bro, this guy's got a serious silverware lined up, bro. The man himself, Mr. Mikel John Obi. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks you guys for having me.
You have to be very specific with your name because some people call you John Obi Mikel, but you had to come out and correct people. Rio and Harry obviously here as well inside the building, the main guys. But we just wanted to make sure that we got that correct.
That's the right way. Mikel John Obi.
Mikel John. So why are they calling you John Obi?
Because in England, John is the name, isn't it?
Yeah. That's true. No, everybody calls me John in England. At the club as well, I think JT calls me John. Frank is the only guy who actually calls me Obi. For some reason, he always calls me Obi. But yeah, some people just mix it up, but that's the right way to pronounce it.
That's the right way to say it. Rio, I'll let you kick it off.
When we heard you were coming on, man, it was the first thing I thought was, what happened with Man United, man?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm here for. I'll leave after that.
I was there. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson saying, we've got this young boy from Africa, young Nigerian boy, meant to be the next star. We've got him, it's done. And then all of a sudden, you just went missing, man.
I did.
Who took you?
Chelsea. Yeah. My agent came over from London, came to Norway, and basically kidnapped me. I went missing for like a couple of days. So there was like a massive announcement.
Kidnapped? Like, was you like in a bag or like what?
No, like he took me out. Like nobody knew. He took me out from the back door, and we escaped at night. There was lots of massive media outside my house in Norway, and we had to go through the fence, the back door. And I remember having one of my luggages in my hair. My agent was carrying the other one in his head, and we escaped through the back door because there was a massive announcement from the police in Norway saying, if you know where he is, make sure you contact the police because he's gone missing.
Right, news at 5, news at 5.
So what did your agent actually say? Hey, listen, Chelsea are in. That's where you're going. Did you have a choice? Or were you set on Man United? What's actually happening there?
Because obviously, like you said, I came to the club. I came United when I was 16, 17, something like that. And, trials with the club. The boss absolutely loved me, wanted me at the club. I was training with the first team. I was training with you guys, I remember. And he actually really, really wanted me at the club. But then I went back on holidays. And then what happened that my agent contacted me when I was at home with my family. It's like, listen, I know you've gone to United for like trials, but Chelsea really, really wants you, Roman. The project, the new project.
Bro, let's be real. Let's be real. The money was bigger at Chelsea.
Let's be real. I must say that the money was absolutely, the money was big. And obviously living in London, and I spoke to Roman as well. I spoke to Jose. They were like, "Come on, listen. We'll leave the contract open for you. We'll discuss the money, but just make sure you come to Chelsea." And that's why when I went back home, my agent called me. It's like, we have to switch. We have to go to.
He must have been getting a bag.
Oh, he got a lot.
He's probably laughing.
He got a lot.
To this day, he's laughing. Yeah.
So he took me to Norway, and that's where I was. And then I played the first game for the club, and then that's where you guys came back. United came back with a contract. And then Ferguson flew to Norway as well, to see me. And I thought, what, I'm going to sign for United. Why not? And I did sign a pre-contract for United, but it wasn't like a professional contract. You have to be 18 coming from Africa. So you have to be 18 before you be able to sign a professional contract. So I wasn't 18 then. So I signed the pre-contract, and then Chelsea saw the
image.
Yeah, they saw the image with the picture, the press conference, and Roman was like, "No, I'm not having this." So he sent my agent people to Norway, and that's where I got kidnapped, sent to London.
He sent them back.
Roman kidnapped the agent and the young player.
Don't say that.
And sent the boy and sent a big bag of.
Did you ever speak to Alex Ferguson after that?
I did. I had a meeting with him, in the FA office when I came to London, because FIFA got involved, because I wasn't playing for like a year. So then FIFA was like, you know what, we need to sort out this shit, because this kid needs to play football. He's such a talented player, he needs to play. And then FIFA got involved. Was like, okay, we need to start it now. And then I had a meeting with Fergie, with the boss, in the FA office. So it was a long, massive table. He was sitting at the edge there, and I was sitting here.
The Godfather.
Yeah, Godfather.
I know that.
He was like, "What is it, John Boy? What is it?
John Boy.
John Boy is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, what is it? What is it you want? Is it the money? What is it? What have they given you? Is it the money? Or why are they changing your mind?" It's like, boss, I really want to play for Chelsea. He's like, tell me, is it the money? I'm going to give you more. I'm going to give you more. Please tell me. Because the guys at the club, Roy Keane absolutely loves you. He wants me to get you at the club. I was like, sorry, Gaff, I can't play for it. I want to go to Chelsea. And he went absolutely red. So he walked out of the meeting. He was like, you know what? You're going to regret this. And then he just left. Did you regret it? I wouldn't say that. I know you mentioned my trophies there. I know, obviously, the big man here, you've got way more than I do. I think you guys won a couple of, exactly. So, if I had gone to United, would have won a bit more trophies, more Champions League, but I absolutely enjoyed my time at the club, at Chelsea. We had lots of memories. We won a lot. So for me, you had a great career, man. Yeah. So that when I saw you, you was like an 8, almost a 10. If I remember rightly. Yeah. And then obviously you kind of moved into more of a defensive midfielder. Yeah. What was the reason for that shift in position? Jose. I came into the club. I thought I was going to be, this young guy coming in, like you said, playing the national team, number 10. Everything went through me. I went to the club and Jose was like, no, you are going to play in a defensive midfield player because I have a certain Makelele who's about to leave the club. He's the best at this position. Sit for 6 months and watch this guy and learn from him. And that's what I did. Yeah. So what was you watching? Just the way he controlled the game, his movement. You watch him in training, he doesn't move that much. But his position, and he wins every duel. He wins every... You're like, how is he doing it? It's just the mind, the way he calculated every single action. And then one day he sat me down. It's like, listen, Mikel, I am not the quickest in this club. But one thing I do have is the brains to play the game. And that's what you need to, because this position is the most important position in the team. You have to make sure you master it and be good at it. And it's like, I'm leaving in 6 months. Just watch the way I play this position and you will be the best at it. What was the main things you took out of his game that you tried to implement into your game? The positioning. I listen to sometimes people say, oh, you didn't move much in the game, but that's what I learned from Maka. Maka didn't move much. It was about the positioning. You have to position yourself in a position whereby every attack against you, you have to make sure you're there to break plays. And that's what he did. He said to me, you're not going to get the limelights every week in, week out. Obviously the likes of Frank, Didier, they're going to get the line because they score the goals. But what you do for the team is way more important than that. And that's true because the only people who can see that was my teammates and the manager. The fans didn't see that. The fans wanted a player who scored goals, who flashy and technical. But what we did for the club was so important. So that role, for all the younger viewers and listeners who don't know, a role in the team was named after Makelele. That's how big this player was. Yeah. Like the defensive midfield role is named after Claude Makelele. Like, who do you think's the best at that? Like we've got Sergio Busquets. You've got now in the Premier League you've got Casemiro, who was fantastic and won 5 Champions League. Rodri at Man City, Kante. Who do you think is the best at that? I think now when I was telling somebody the other day, when I look at this position now, I think one player, for me I have 2 players. For me, Busquets I know it was named after Makelele's, but what Busquets did for Barcelona, the way he played the position, he wasn't the quickest, but his calculation, the way he was with the ball and everything. Archie, you listening to this?
what would you say to people who don't rate Busquets?
Oh no, you absolutely don't know anything about football.
Yeah, him just anything
about football. I think Busquets is absolutely amazing. I mean, what he did because everything went through him. Because they were so comfortable giving him the ball, and he never lost the ball. You watch him game after game, he really loses the ball, and that's something that now when I watch the City side, oh my God, what Rodri! I said it to somebody the other day. For me, Rodri is the most important player right now today in the Premier League. The most important player. In the Premier League.
Why would you say that?
I'm not talking about Haaland or watch him when he doesn't play for
they lose.
City.
They lose.
But I watched him the other day against when he came back, and the performance he gave, absolutely brilliant. This guy never loses the ball. He scores goals. Everything goes through him. The build up, and just the way he controls the ball, he's facing the right way. And I think that also comes from the manager. And that's something that I think Pep has taught him over the years. Because when he came to the club, everybody thought he wasn't going to do it because obviously Fernandinho did it for many, many years. But I think now, for me, Rodri is absolutely fantastic.
So this is go back, sorry, Joel, just go back to Chelsea again and your time there. So you go in there, there's some big players, big characters. Who was the ones that helped you most when you went into that dressing room?
Rare. That's the exact same.
That's the same thing I was
I'm not gonna lie, we're here right now. You know,
Telepathy, man. We're just on the same wavelength.
Two questions now.
What a midfield.
You know.
No, obviously, I'll definitely say Claude, obviously, in terms of learning from him. But obviously, we have somebody who we call the African King in the dressing room, which is obviously the big man, Didier. Didier was the guy who looked at the young players, the African players. He was the guy. If you have a problem with an African player, if you don't want to talk to me, you go to Didier, and Didier comes to you and tell you, "Oh, listen, what are you doing?" And that also came from Mourinho. Mourinho used to do that. So Didier was the guy who looked after the African young players who come into the club.
So you, Solomon Kalou,
me, Solomon
Essien.
Kalou, Michael Essien, Malouda, and he looked after us.
Actually, all the black boys.
All the black boys, exactly.
just say it.
Yeah, that's what he said. All the black boys. Didier was the king. He was the king of the African boys, and he looked after us, and he made us feel welcome. Anybody who come into the club, Didier was the man.
I love that.
I want to speak on Mourinho's impact in the Premier League, and obviously you was under him as well. How important was he in that dressing room and the belief that he had in you guys, but also the way you guys portrayed it on the pitch? Because he was very tough to play against.
Yeah.
I kind of hated you watching you play.
No, we were very tough, obviously, because back then we knew that the only team that is way ahead of us and we have to beat, that set the standard so high, obviously, were you guys. We have to beat United. We have to. It doesn't matter who else we played. Obviously, City was just coming, they were just coming up, man. It was United, and every time we faced you guys, we have to win against United. We have to win against United. And Mourinho came with that winning mentality of knowing that when it comes to a weekend that we play against United, the training atmosphere is different. Everybody needs to concentrate. There's no playing around. There's no messing around in the training ground. And we have to beat United for people to really know that we're there.
Respect you.
Exactly. And you guys set the bar so high. And for us, we have to win against you guys. And the winning mentality was something that Jose brought into the dressing room, and we all now embraced it. And we're like, okay, we have to embrace this and win games. Winning games is something that we we mastered, and we just went on from there.
So how did you go about that? Did the training change? Did the quality and levels every day, the consistency in training? What kind of things was he doing? Was he pulling you as an individual? Did he have conversations with you and go, listen, you need to do this? Or
Mourinho have different tactics. If he talks to you, you don't listen, he will find a different way. He always have a different way to get the best out of you. Takes you out of the team, or he sends you to the reserve team to train with the reserve team for a couple of weeks and brings you back. Or he screams at you. He did that with, like I said, with Mohamed Salah. We're playing once, and we came into the dressing room, we're losing. It was like, and you need to fucking run. You need to fucking run. I don't care. You just got married, obviously.
To Salah?
Yeah. Oh. He was Muslim.
Talk about his wife.
He said you just got married.
He went deep, man. He went deep. He killed him, absolutely killed him. He was in tears. And we thought, okay, you know what? Okay, he's in tears. It's going to let him back into the game. But no, after doing all that, he's like, you know what? You're not coming back.
He took him off after killing him. He took him off.
After killing him, he took him off. And this young boy was in tears, absolutely in tears. And he just got married then. Obviously Muslim, you need to get married before you. Yeah. So, but he went deep, and we thought, okay. But when you look at him now, he's become more matured, Mourinho. I don't think he deals with situations like that. He's a bit more matured now. So yeah. But back in the day, oof.
You touched on Mo Salah there. There's two players that stand out for Chelsea: Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Have you got any stories about their time there and why they may not have succeeded at Chelsea?
Talking back at JT the other day on the pod, he said sometimes we probably made some mistake that we didn't, because they were having such a hard time. We should have, spoke to them differently or try to make them feel a bit more But back then, when there's no this malarkey of, feelings and all that. If you're there to perform. You're at Chelsea to perform. You're there to play. I know we all have feelings now. When you talk to young players, like the feelings come in. Back then, you have to perform, or you're out of the team, because we also want to perform, and the big guys also want to play, and that's something I think we're a little bit harsh on them back then, because they were not performing, especially Kevin De Bruyne. He was not performing. He comes to training sulking, moody.
Was he?
Yeah, he didn't want to. He trained, but he didn't want to train because he wasn't playing much. He just wanted to leave the club.
Did he think he should be playing? Do you think
he thought he should be playing?
He was more of a winger back then, though, wasn't he? He wasn't like where he is now.
Started off as a striker as well.
But he thought he should be playing, though.
He thought he should be playing. He had chances, but he didn't perform as well as should. And with Mourinho, if he gives you chances and you don't perform, you're out. And then he finds a way to get you out of the club. When he doesn't play you, means he wants you to leave. And that's something that they both realized quickly, and they both left. But look at them today.
Did you ever expect them to do what they've done, the levels they got to?
Definitely not. Especially Kevin De Bruyne. When you
didn't see it at all.
No. Wow. We thought when he left, when he went to Wolfsburg, we thought, okay, that's it. But then I think that's where the development started. You could see the changes in his game. He started playing much, much better. I don't know what happened there, but when you look at him today, a joy to watch.
I think that's really interesting. I know it's about you, John, but I want to check, Rio. Did you have situations like that? Because obviously John Terry goes, and I heard what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have put their arm around the players more. But obviously they're thinking about winning. Where it's like relentless.
Yeah.
Do you look at players and you go, "Ooh, maybe we could have put our hands around, I don't know, the Albertons of this world, or the Jembas"?
No. I think you're talking about players that went on to do really well, but
they didn't know that. At the time.
and then you're mentioning players that had potential and didn't go on and do well.
Jemba was always horror.
But no. But I think Ravel Morrison's one of them. We could all see the talent. But we could all see the problems as well that he came with, but we never had the patience or time
off
the pitch. Yeah, we never had the patience or time to go, come on, man, come with me, come on, let's go and get a lunch and let's have a coffee and let's talk about what's going on in your life and we can help you. And like John's, I'd be saying, you can't take your eye off what you're doing, because what you're doing is so refined and is so meticulous in your approach. And a little bit off of what your routine is can all of a sudden be a 6 out of 10 on a Saturday. And you're like, hold on, no, I can't afford to. So you're letting people just swim back down the other way, and you're just going that way. And you just leave them, and only the strong survive. And that's the way it was back then. But now, like what he's saying is, there's a lot more compassion now. Oh, come on, you're all right. And it's a little bit more, people are being cradled a bit more, I think. And that's just society and the way it is. But yeah, we lost definitely a few players. I can't think of any more off the top of my head.
I wanted to ask, you spoke about, playing against Man United. That was obviously probably the most important game of the season.
Yeah.
If you beat them home and away, you probably won the league.
Yep.
Who are the players that Mourinho was like, you need to watch out for him in that team? or who you had to, because your position was in midfield.
Yeah, who were you taking care of?
Who was you dealing with?
Waza. Is that yeah. Rooney, because he was the guy who he dropped.
Don't mention Rooney, because he said after 23 years old he was on the slide down.
No,
was he?
Come on.
I got misquoted. I got given false numbers by Stephen House, and you got blood on your hands. Rio, you knew what you were doing.
Whoa.
The social team. We're gonna explain the survival fight. My God.
No, come on, Rooney, man, Rooney for us back then. What a guy. Technically very good, and also physically strong. You can't get him off the ball. And he was the guy who always drops deep. He had like a bit of sort of a freedom to roam around, isn't it, on the pitch? You never know where he is. He comes behind you, or he's running behind the defenders. So for us, Rooney was the guy that Mourinho was like, okay, Mikel, you need to watch him. Even if he's drifting on the side, make sure you keep an eye on him, because he's gonna, before you know it, he's behind you and he gets the ball and he turns and we're in trouble. So Rooney was the guy.
I think people say that he was a player that when he's angry, he's at his worst. Did you see that?
No, when he's angry, he's on his best. I feel.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry, when he's angry, he's at his best.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, of course. Sometimes it's like you feel like you don't want to get him angry. You just want to let him, be, play nicely. But you can feel like when he goes on the pitch, he wants to get angry. He's looking for something to get him angry. It's either he's tackling John Terry or he's looking for somebody to get on a fight with. But that's just how he played. So for us, Rooney was the guy, and also there's a guy named Jason Park, he was always, this guy never gets tired.
See, that's a surprise that that Mourinho's talking about, and you guys are talking about him.
Jason Park was another guy that we always had to watch out for because, it was the guy who makes that runs with and without the ball. So you have to keep an eye on this.
This is what I'm saying, yeah. If I was a coach now, Jason Park would be who I'd be giving all wide players a video of. You'd be getting his clips of how to move before the ball comes and how to move for ball to feet or ball into the space. They're one of the best runners off the ball I've ever seen. The timing, the intelligence, the pace with which, the intensity with which he does it was like ridiculous. And someone who just goes to a game and watches a game normal, you won't see him and you won't see these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he ain't doing step overs, he ain't doing drag backs. Yeah. But my man is getting in and he's making a problem for all the opposing players with his movement.
But that's why he played the big games for you guys as well. Every big game he was there. He didn't play the small games, but big games he was there.
Who was that guy for Chelsea when you was there? Other than yourself?
Obviously, we know who comes up in the big games. Obviously, Didier Drogba. But another player that never got mentioned a lot was Mikel Obi. This guy was special. The train, special.
The train.
Oh, the train.
Ghana.
Yeah.
From Ghana.
The fufu, huh?
Yeah.
No, this guy, he didn't get the credit that he deserved, but powerful, strong. And, he's someone that always played the big games as well. Every manager that came into the team, except when Di Matteo came in. Di Matteo didn't give him a look in. But every other manager, he was a constant player for our team. He was so vital because of his power going, box to box. And Frank got a lot of credit because Frank was a guy who, over the years, developed this awareness of getting to the box at the right time. Where's the ball going to drop? Bang. Who's there? Frank. And he mastered it. And talking to him the other day, it was something that he mastered. He had to grow into it. And for us, we've always said that Mikel Obi was the guy who didn't get as much credit as he deserved. For us, he was our Jason Park.
For you was basically, you spoke about the Makelele role. There was also like a John Obi Mikel role. Like you was the cleanup operator.
The cleanup, yeah.
Obviously, we see a lot of players. Sometimes they might
the water carrier, I think.
I mean, I didn't say it. You did. But we see sometimes a lot of players don't know how to play a role in a team. They always want to be playing. But you kind of sometimes SCM would play and you'd come on to clean up.
Yeah.
How did you stay in the game? Did you watch the game and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna do this for the last 20 minutes of the game? And how do you stay focused during those times? Because sometimes, your mind might be, I want to play the game.
Yeah.
And then you're not really into the game. Yeah. How did you always do it? Because whenever you came on, we knew the game's just the point.
It's over. It's done. It's done. No, but the thing is, sometimes as well, coming on as well, is the most difficult thing. Because it's either you concentrate or you're watching the game and you come on, because the game is so fast, it's so, if you take your eyes off the ball, you make a mistake and it's a goal. So coming on is always difficult. So you have to be always ready. You have to be always prepared, knowing, okay, I'm going to come on for the last 20 minutes. I better make sure I'm watching the game and to concentrate fully to make sure that, I don't lose the ball. Because sometimes it takes us, as football players, it takes us a while to get going, isn't it?
The rhythm.
Yeah, the rhythm as well. So when you come on for the last 20 minutes, your job is to make sure that if we're winning 1-0, it has to stay 1-0. Because if you come on, even if you don't make the mistake for the goal, and you guys finally or eventually lose the game, somehow comes down to you. The players look at you. They might not tell you, They're going to look at you. And with Mourinho, he'll come to you and tell you, listen, it was my mistake. I shouldn't have brought you on. Because you weren't concentrating, because he always tried to find a way to make sure next time you go onto that pitch, you do exactly what he says, and you make sure that we don't lose the game or draw the game.
Eden Hazard.
Eden, for me, what a fantastic footballer. And I've said this time and time. I had a phone call with him the other day. He picked up the phone. He's like, you talking shit about me.
Yeah, because I was going to go there. That's where I was leading. Yeah. You were dissing him about his training. What did you say?
He picked up the phone. First of all, I called him. He didn't answer. And then the next day I called him. And then he picked up the phone. It's like, you, huh? You talking so much shit about me. I was like, I'm like, I know. I'm not talking shit about you. I'm saying how good you were because you achieved all that you've achieved without putting an effort. Imagine if you did put an effort.
So he literally didn't put effort in. You just knew he was that good.
He was that good. I mean, this guy comes into training. He doesn't tie his training boots. He doesn't tie it up.
That's
he just
disrespect.
leaves it on. And you can see the lace. He's just standing there with his hands in his pants. And he just stands in the corner.
No, but
Keeping the things warm.
How is he getting away with this? You had some top managers.
He's not respecting no one.
What?
That's no
What?
respect.
Are the coaches not saying, come on, Eden, you need to get more involved? Like,
They do, but it is like Valaba. He says the same in
That's in French. That means go over there.
Go over there. The Valaba.
Oh, sorry, I speak French.
Or what was it? Or
Show
putain.
I'm bilingual, man.
Did he ever say what? Putain.
So he just mumbles and just stands there. And then he moves a little bit and it's like, okay. And we're like, Eden, seriously, we're not going to pass you the ball. It's like, all right, don't worry. Don't pass me the ball. Okay, you go and play yourself. And then on the weekend, he's in the team. We know he's going to be in the team. But then you're thinking, how is he going to perform not training? And then he comes out, after a game and, he's got the Man of the Match award. Performs like, he's been training for hours.
Don't none of the big guys in the team like pull him and say, listen, bro, you need to start fixing up in training.
No, even JT tried. It's like, Valaba, please, don't disturb me.
Don't disturb me.
Please just leave me alone. So I was talking to him the other day. It's like, he said to me, Mikel, it's not like I was not trying. He said, when I went to Madrid, I looked at myself, I was like, okay, let me try. Let me give it a go. Let me put some effort. But then I started getting injuries.
His body weren't used to it.
Yeah, my body couldn't take it.
Only once a week he needed to do that.
Exactly.
Once a week activities.
Yeah, exactly. So my body couldn't take it. And that's why, I look at it, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit. He said, I got offers to go to Saudi. What am I going to do? He said, I've got a lot of money right now. I don't need the money. So I go to Madrid, to Saudi where I'm going to take $1 million a week and then what?
$1 million a week? And he said no. Wow, these men must be bathing, boy.
Yeah. He said to me, I got about 2-3 offers to go to Saudi. Said, what? He said, Mikel, I've got a lot of money. He said to me, and you know how I live my life? I said, yeah, I know. He said, I don't spend too much money. We know he doesn't. Yeah, he's not a guy who wears flashy stuff. He wears one Nike trainers for a very long time. And he said, I don't spend money. So I have money now to live with my family.
That's admirable.
You know what I mean?
I admire that. I do admire that. Because you know what? It's actually if you haven't had money as a kid and you then get blessed with a lot of money, right? It's very hard to be disciplined and not want to spend it on extravagant things. Yeah. Like when I got my first money, bro, I had no money in the bank for about 2-3 years in the first part of my career. Because as soon as it came in, I was on Oxford Street, on Bond Street. Yeah. I was in the car showroom. Yeah. I'd buy my mum a house. I was just cleaning out my bank account every single week because it was just like, whoa, I ain't had this. I need to spend it. So to be that disciplined and do that, I do respect and admire that. Because a lot of players, when they retire, after 5 years, after 10 years, they're looking, where am I going to get the money from?
Where's the money coming from? Yeah.
Speaking about money, John, you obviously are Nigerian descent, and you see with a lot of players going back home, they go back and invest and stuff.
Yeah.
Was you grounded with your decision making with money, knowing that you have a family back home and you speak very highly about where you're from as well? Yeah. How was that for you managing money? And did people like Didier Drogba advise you what to do, or was you trying to dye your hair like him as well?
I think obviously when you come from Africa, and this is something I don't think we speak a lot about. When you come from Africa, I don't know if when you make money. It's not your money. Yeah. It's not just your money. It's the same. You know what I mean? It's not just your money. You have all these relatives, cousins, whatever you call it.
Who you didn't know.
Yeah. And your sisters, they go off and they get married to some guy, who just wants to get married to John Obi Mikel's family because then my life is sorted. And then you start looking after this guy, and you send money to your sister. The money goes to him. He does whatever he does with it. But these are the things that nobody know about. Your money is not your money. So you get a salary, okay, now I'm going to put this aside for this person, put that aside for this person, put that aside for my mom and dad. Before you know it, you're looking at them, where is it
You're
going?
on less than them.
Exactly. You're getting less than them. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. And they keep having so many kids and you're looking at, okay, you're having this much kids. Who's going to look after them? It's you. They look out for you to look after the kids, the husband and the husband's family. It becomes really absolutely crazy.
But that's the culture, though, isn't it? Like the culture that they expected you to do that.
You're expecting to do that. For them, you owe them that. And you think, hold on a minute. I don't owe you anything. But no, you do owe them that. And I don't think it should be like, I was talking to Victor Sime the other day, I just finished. Who's next in the pod? Yeah. So, and he also had the same. He spoke about the same thing, on the pod. The problems he's having right now with his family, with his sister, and with his family. So these are the things that, so sometimes you have to be strong and say, you know what, guys, enough